Hey kids, you know what time it is?
Happy Fun Time!
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Gwendon from the Peace Resource Center at Wilmington College and the Clinton County Youth Council. And today I'm going to teach you how to make a paper crane, just like this one. Alright, let's learn how to make a paper crane. The first thing you need to do is get a square piece of paper, like this one. I have some actual nice origami paper. It's thin. But you don't have to use origami paper. You can use notebook paper or something recycled, but you want to make sure that you have a square piece of paper. Hey kids, now it's time to go to ultra focus handycam style. Alright, our first fold we're going to do, we have our square. The first thing we're going to do is do a diagonal fold to make a triangle. So I have my color side up. Make a diagonal fold, making sure that the points are lined up nice. And I'm going to make a nice sharp crease. I'm holding the points together. Now I'm going to use my thumbnail to make a nice sharp crease. Next, we are going to unfold our triangle. And we're going to fold diagonally the other way to make another triangle. Once again, keeping those points lined up together. I hold the points down and then squash it down. And then I'm going to make sure that my crease is nice and sharp. So I'm going to hold it down and use my thumbnail to make a nice sharp crease. Alright, I've made two folds now. Next, I'm going to unfold my triangle. Make sure the white side is up. And now I'm going to fold it in half again, and this time I'm just going to fold it north to make a rectangle. Once again, making sure my points are lined up on both sides. I'm using my thumbnail to make a nice sharp crease. Okay, I have my rectangle. I'm going to open that rectangle up, and I'm going to do it the other way. Lining up my points. Making a nice sharp crease with my thumbnail. There we have a rectangle. Okay, now we're going to open the rectangle again. But we're not going to flatten it out, but you should see that you have a diagonal crease going both ways, and a horizontal crease, and a vertical crease. If you have that, you're ready to move on to the next step. Okay, now what we're going to do is try to bring all four corners or points in together. So what I'm going to do is bring these first two side points down to meet the bottom point. Just like this. I'm pushing it down. And since I have nice creases, this top point should be trying to come meet the other points. And we're going to do that just by squashing it down. And if your creases are nice, those points should be all together. And now we have a square. Alright, we have our square here. And I want to point out to you that we have about 3 layers here. We have our top point, our middle flaps here, and our bottom point. What we're going to do is bring just this top flap, this pointed edge here, and bring it and meet it along with this middle crease. So bring the top right flap, fold it in to meet the middle crease to form a little triangle. And make a nice crease with my thumbnail. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side to meet it up. So we have 2 flaps here. So you're just going to take the top left flap here. We're going to meet it with the other flap. So bringing it in and lining it up perfectly with that middle crease. Alright, now we have a nice little kite shape here in the top. Before we flip over to the other side, you'll see a nice straight line that is formed from the two flaps that you brought to the middle. We're going to take the top triangle and we're going to fold the whole thing, so both layers, down along that straight edge, just like this. Crease it nice, and then we can open it back up. Okay, now we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing we just did on the other side. So we have our top flap here. We're going to bring the right side, this pointed edge, right into the middle. We're going to fold along that middle crease. Lining it up with that middle crease. Give it a nice sharp crease. We'll do that to the other side as well, bringing just the left top flap and to meet the other side. Give it a nice sharp crease. Use that thumbnail to make it nice. Just like we did on the other side, we're going to take the top triangle flap and fold it over the new straight edge we just made. So the whole top flap, fold it over that middle edge. Back there. And now we have a nice kite shape. Alright, now that we have our kite shape, we are going to open this back up to make a square. So I'm just going to take the top left flap and right flap, open it up. Now we have a square again. And what we're going to do is, pulling from this bottom area, we are just going to take the top layer, so just this top layer, and this point we are going to put up here. And we're going to fold it along this middle crease that we made earlier. So I'll do this slowly so you can see. We're just lifting just the top edge. I'm holding the bottom. And as you can see, it's folding on top of that middle crease. And as I do that, these sides start to come in. And that's a good thing. So we're going to push that up. And as we push it up, the sides come in. And we are going to fold the paper along that middle crease on both sides. Alright, so now we have a nice diamond kind of kite shape again. And we're going to do that to the other side as well. So I'm going to flip it over, open up the right flap and the left flap. Now we're going to just take the top layer and we're going to take the bottom point and meet it with this top point that we made earlier. So I'm going to push it up along, it's going to fold along that middle crease that we made. We're going to meet it with the other point, and as I do that, the sides should be coming in, and you can line those up. Make sure those middle creases are touching and meeting. Did that on both sides. Now we have a nice diamond shape again. Okay, now that we have our nice diamond shape, you'll see that we have a cool diamond shape with some flappy legs. You want to make sure that your flappy legs are pointing down, pointing to the ground, or pointing towards yourself. What we're going to do is make these flappy legs a little bit skinnier. So we're going to fold them in half. So I'm going to take just the right side, the top flap. You see we have two layers right here. Just the top flap, and I'm going to bring this side edge into the middle to fold it in half. Fold along the middle crease. Okay, we did one side, and let's do the other flap on the left side. So once again, we're just going to take the top flap, not both, just the top flap. And we're going to take this edge and meet it with the middle. So we're basically just making those flappy legs a little bit skinnier by folding them in half. Folding along that middle crease. So it should look like this. Next, we're going to flip it over and we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So right now we should just have one flap here. Take that top flap and we're going to fold it in along the middle just like we did on the other side. So we're going to make it look just like the other side. We're folding those flappy legs in half, making them skinnier. Doing that on both sides. So now we have the same shape, but we've made the legs a little bit skinnier. But we still have that diamond and we still have flappy legs pointing towards the table or the ground. Alright, so now we have this shape here. We're almost there, almost finished. So what we're going to do now with these flappy legs is we're going to bring these flappy legs up to become the head and the tail of the paper crane. So what I'm going to do is take my thumb and my forefinger, or my pointer finger, and hold just the left side of this shape. And then what I'm going to do is open up the right flap. So you see on this side, we have two flaps here. We're going to open it up, and we're going to pull just the right side leg and take this point and meet it up here at the top. So I'm going to push it up to meet that area, right inside of this kind of triangle, trapezoid looking thing. And now that it's meeting the top wings, we are going to fold it in on itself, just like that. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to take my thumb and my pointer finger and hold the right side. I'm going to take my left finger to open up this side. There's two flaps on this side. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take the bottom point here and bring it up here to meet the head and what are going to be the wings of the crane. So I'm going to open it up, bring this up to meet it, like that. And then I'm going to squash it together again. So now it should look like this. Alright, now we're ready to bring this crane to life. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to hold the base of our crane with my left thumb and forefinger, and I'm going to bring the head of the crane out a little bit. So I'm going to pinch the bottom here, and I'm going to pull on the head a little bit, and bring it out, make a new crease there. And then I'm going to hold the right side. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to bring the tail and the head out just a little bit and crease. So this is going to be our head and our tail. These are our wings. Now what we can do is grab a hold of our wings. This is the fun part. I have a hold of the wings with my thumb and my pointer finger on both sides. I'm going to push with my middle fingers along the base of the crane. I'm going to slowly pull, putting pressure along the base. Pull those wings out. Now we're starting to look like a crane. Alright, so now this looks like a crane. Let's make one of the sides look like an actual head of a crane. So what you can do there is just squash it in on itself. Point it out that way. Make sure those wings look nice. And now you have a nice paper crane. Alright, so we just made a paper crane, just like this one. And a paper crane is a symbol of peace. So you can give this to a friend, or an enemy, or a family member, or somebody you don't even know, as a symbol of peace. I'm Eric, and that's all the time we have today for Happy Fun Time.